I have 60 pots, and each pot has 2 plants inside. So one of the things I'm varying is which species those plants are, and I'm interested in seeing the competitive interactions between the species. And then the other thing I'm varying is whether nitrogen is added or not, and I'm interested in how nitrogen addition affects this competitive interaction between species.
Planting multiple native species that will successfully coexist is important because biodiversity tends to add to the function of the ecosystem. Ecosystem function can be defined as the ecological processes that control the fluxes of energy, nutrients, and organic matter through an environment. High nitrogen levels have sometimes been known to decrease plant diversity in an ecosystem. There are several possible mechanisms for this, one of which is light competition. Whichever species is able to most quickly and efficiently translate the added nitrogen into growth will block light from the other species. Understanding the effect of nitrogen level on plant competition is necessary to maintain sustainable ecosystems in areas that experience high nitrogen levels due to runoff.
We measured the growth of each plant from week to week to understand how nitrogen addition affects the interaction of these species. We did this by taking the dimensions of each plant and also by quantifying the number and area of leaves.
The dependence of different species of plants on soil nitrogen levels can vary. For example, one species in our experiment, the sensitive partridge pea, is a nitrogen fixer. This means it has a mutualism with a type of bacteria in the soil called rhizobia. Rhizobia are able to capture nitrogen from the air and deliver it to the plant via the roots. In exchange, the plant provides the rhizobia with carbohydrates it made through photosynthesis. Since the sensitive partridge pea has an alternative source of nitrogen, I expect it to do better than the other plants in the no nitrogen treatment, but then I don't expect it to see the same improvement as the others in the nitrogen added treatment. Nitrogen-fixing legumes are one focus of the Ecosystem Conservation Lab, so this was a great excuse to learn about the diversity of nitrogen fixers and rhizobia from people with expertise in the subject, and to feel more immersed in the lab.
If there's one takeaway I got from this summer, it would be preparation and communication. When you plan an experiment or write up a procedure, so much more is going to come up than you think. There are many little details and pitfalls that need to be ironed out along the way. Working remotely with my mentor and with 2 other interns performing the same experiment in their yards, there were constant texts and video calls, and I think having that record of all the conversations we had just made it even clearer to me how much thought and communication is necessary. It's difficult to do remotely, but it's possible if you're intentional about it.